Alright, and hey guys, Hijinks here. Been gone for a while, but back with a new type of video. It took a while to kind of record, edit, and get this all together. Um, but I'm here with a new type of video. It's called a Badlock. So Badlock is something I came up with. I ran it by my brother and a few friends, and I thought it'd be a fun video to make. Essentially, it's a Nuzlocke variant that I created. It's made to sort of test the game sense of a trainer. Um, so the rules are simple. There's no running from wild Pokemon encounters. There's no avoiding trainer battles. You don't necessarily have to seek out every trainer battle, but if you see a trainer, you do have to fight them at some point. No healing items in battle, including status effect items. No held items, so no focus sash, no glasses, no berries, nothing in the battle. There is a big plus here, which is that there's no hard level cap. The goal is just to kind of be within reasonable range, and depending on how many encounters you have, how many trainer battles you get locked into, that will kind of make it hard to stay very close to a level cap. So that's why there's no level cap here. It's just kind of hard how the rule set is kind of built. You cannot catch or add Pokemon to your team until you beat a gym. One badge is one Pokemon. So you get your starter. That's all you're going to have until you get done the first gym. Playing with this rule set, you'll have a total of 9 Pokemon. That's only if you lose none of them. You can get giveaway Pokemon if you do it without triggering an encounter first. So the Magikarp on Route 4, the Eevee in Celadon City. There are 2 in Saffron City, the Lapras, Hitmonlee, and Hitmonchan. However, if you get one of the ones in Saffron City, you can't get the second one because that would be getting 2 encounters from one place, which gets us to our next rule. No double catches or catching multiples from a group. You can use potions. I personally avoided it for most of this besides one segment, in which I will mention that when we get there. But for the entirety of the run, besides one segment, I did not use any potions at all. But you can use them outside of battle, so between battles. You can have an HM Pokemon to take so this way it doesn't take away from your encounters since they're so limited already. And also, unlike other runs, this one starts right away, so not when you receive the Pokeballs. Most Nuzlocke start when you receive the Pokeballs, so you can go through the first errand mission and be fine, and you can use that little gap for grinding safely. You can grind right away, however, there is no safety point, so the second you get your Pokemon, the run has begun. But I believe this is everything. So without further ado, let's hop into the run. Like all high-level trainers, I completely forget to get Professor Oak before going to his lab. Professor Oak saves me from impulsively hopping into the tall grass and ends up rewarding my poor decision with a Charmander that I named Sabo. As I make my way out of the lab, everyone's true rival in life, Anger, grabs a hold of me and forces me to battle. Of all the times in this fight, this may have actually been the smoothest one I've had. Maybe this run will be a lot easier than I realized. However, with Sabo, I have realized that I'm not going to get another encounter until after we beat Brock. This is tough because Brock is the Rock Gym. However, at level 13, Sabo will get Metal Claw, so I have an idea to beat Brock. My idea essentially is to grind in the area where most of the EVs I get are attack or speed. So for this, I'll stick between Route 2 and Route 22 to get the necessary experience I need before returning to the run. After a bit of grinding, I am ready to begin my journey to self-actualization and conquer my anger before growing my team. Emotions high, Anger starts strong using a Pidgey. This will always be his Pokemon to set the stage, but unfortunately for him, fire beats feathers, and Sabo teaches a Squirtle that it's more than his Delphox that makes him special. Freedom Forest is a breeze when you have a fire type, so it goes a bit like this.
Went for another dart, and he connected it again. And now he's not letting go, there's no release here. This is flat out punishment of Cena.
Leaving Viridian, Sabo is only 4 levels stronger than Brock's strongest Pokemon, which isn't actually that bad. Well, I should say isn't bad for me. I prove that you can melt rock and begin my journey on Route 3 for my encounter. Here I find a Nidoran. I name her Sagiri. I begin training her up because if I'm going to beat Misty, it is going to be Sagiri to do it. Together, Sagiri and Sabo demolish Mount Moon, beating every trainer in Team Rocket Grunt on the way. Sagiri hits level 16, evolving after defeating the electric trainer and continues to press on. Starmie is a water psychic. However, Misty Starmie does not have any psychic moves, so once Sagiri learns Bite, I know we're in the clear. Mount Moon gives us 2 Moonstones, and with that I opt for a Nidoqueen. It's a high risk bringing a ground type to fight the second gym, but the stats of a fully evolved Pokemon on a run like this is worth it. Now at this point I can take 2 routes. I can go right to Misty, or I can get the next rival fight and go to Bill. I opt to go to the rival fight and Bill as I need to obtain Cut. Here's where things get tricky. I want the Eevee in Celadon City, but I'll be forced to have an encounter in Rock Tunnel. Opposed to waiting, I want to beat the rival and get through everything now, so this way I can get to Rock Tunnel and hopefully getting something useful to fight Surge. This way, after beating Surge, I can go straight to Celadon City, avoiding a forced encounter, as I've already gotten a Pokemon from Rock Tunnel and get straight to getting Eevee. The rival fight is an easy clean sweep for Nidoqueen. The bridge is an easy clear, and getting to Bill was no issue at all. We stop at the Poke Fan Club, grab the bike voucher, then using our Straw Hat skills, we board the ship. One more battle against Anger, and we get our HM Cut. Heading back, we cleared Misty's gym, and the only resistance was her use of a Super Potion. Now it's on to Rock Tunnel to space out these encounters, and we get a Zubat. We name him Josuke. Honestly, we have the ground we need in Sagiri, and Sabo is still a Tremulate, so Surge really isn't going to be an issue. We head back now, and it's time to test ourselves against the third gym. We cut down the tree, and after some wrestling with the puzzle and some smaller fights, we take on Surge, who gets completely washed. The Rock Tunnel, however, is a whole other situation. The no running clause makes for a huge health drain, and as I decided to only use potions between the Elite Four fights, I have no recovery for all the battles and encounters I'm facing. Sagiri easily carries us down to the bottom floor, but after being paralyzed, the damage starts to build, and Sabo and Josuke are not much help either. I begin fighting my way through Route 8. It is all going well, but Sabo is struggling to muscle through, and upon battling Biker Jaren, Sabo is poisoned and wiped by a Grimer. This is a huge wrench in my plans. Now I have to think about what to do for my future encounters. I decided to get my Eevee, and I named him Shanks. I considered pivoting. My original plan was to get a Vaporeon, but a Flareon would be useful right now. But after thinking, I do settle on staying with the original idea of keeping with the Vaporeon. I need Zubat to catch up on levels. Also, I don't want Snorlax for my next encounter. I'm hoping to possibly use Route 8 to retrieve a Vulpix, so I attack the Team Rocket hideout. Josuke proves to be tough, taking out 3 of the Grunt's Pokemon and becoming a Golbat. Not long after clearing out the hideout of all the Grunts, we go to take on Giovanni. This fight has to be Sagiri's, and she ends up learning Super Power. Grabbing the Silph Scope, we start to run back to the Pokemon Tower, but not before giving the guards a beverage so we can run through Saffron City. After reaching the Pokemon Tower, we run into our rival Anger once again. Josuke beats the Pidgeotto, but we lean on Sagiri once more as Golbat is a bit worse for wear. After the rival fight, Josuke starts rapidly gaining levels as he fights through the endless encounters with Gaslights and learns Confuse Ray. However, we do want to stay safe, so we do use Sagiri to wipe out the Marowak. Josuke takes out the first Grunt, but I swap to Sagiri to avoid a self-destruct that I know is coming. We get the Pokeflute, and without hesitation, we go to take out the Snorlax, blocking my route to Fuchsia. 2 hits later, Sagiri has cleared the way. I take this opportunity to repeat the process and take out the second one with Super Power. I rush back to the 4th gym, and Josuke wing attacks his way to Erica. Mid-battle, Josuke learns Air Cutter and the 4th gym badge is mine. I rush back to Route 8 where I get my encounter, and there I catch a Meowth. Not what I was hoping for, but Persian with Shadow Ball will be a great asset for the Elite Four. At this point, I take my chances against Koga and fight my way through the gym. Despite this gym focusing on poison, I spent most of the time being paralyzed and confused. But I reach Koga, and now it's my turn to hand out paralyzes. Things start well, but I almost lose Nidoqueen in the end. With a new encounter, I rush back to Route 10. My goal is to get to the power plant and catch a Pikachu. but Tentacle intercepts and I name her Nami. Now it's time to earn another encounter. I head to the Team Rocket hideout in Saffron City to begin to fight my way through the floors. Realizing I need Pokemon with no psychic vulnerabilities but dark moves, I take Koro to the Pokemon Tower where I can grind to get him to evolve into a Persian. Tentacle grinds on Route 8 and becomes a Tentacool. With our team loosely caught up, we fight the dojo with Josuke and he clears them out. But we do not get one of the dojo duo. We have an electric mouse to try and get it. While fighting through Team Rocket, we have another encounter with Anger. The road to inner peace is an ongoing fight. Shanks leads the way, two-shotting Pidgeotto. Josuke one-shots Execute, Koro two-shots Alakazam, Nami beats Badluck, and Sagiri three-shots Blastoise, almost losing in the process. Shanks leads the way again, and we fight Giovanni. Aurora Beam stops Nidorino, Surf sweeps everyone else, and for this, we earn a Master Ball and our chance to fight the 6th gym. Kuro leads the way. Clearing through with Feint Attack, we make our way to Sabrina. Kuro two-shots Kadabra, two-shots Mr. Mime, three-shots Venomoth, and almost gets knocked out but pulls through and two-shots the Alakazam. With that, we receive another badge, and now it's time to go to the power plant and receive our poster Pokemon for the series. We walk into the plant and we get a Voltorb. We name him Enel and continue to get the TM for Thunder and make our way to Celadon to buy the TM for Thunderbolt. We clear the bike route and Route 19. We make our way to Cinnabar Island and clear the way for the key before going to the gym and using Nami to clear the 7th gym, allowing us to receive another encounter. Bill takes us to the 3 islands and has us go on an adventure. We meet a guy who tells us about his missing daughter, Lostel, and sends us to search for her on Island 3. On Island 3, a biker with a Weezing uses self-destruct and takes out Nami. We have lost 2 Pokemon, but luckily I still have the 7th gym encounter and we receive 1 more for beating the 8th gym. On Island 3, we receive a Bellsprout as our encounter. We name her Robin and proceed to save Lostel. Robin becomes a Weepinbell after Sagiri beats a Bellsprout and we save Lostel. After getting the meteorite from the father for returning Lostel to him, we are able to get back to the Kanto region. We go to Celadon to buy a Leaf Stone, and with that, we now have a victory bell. Now we go back to Viridian City. Shanks wipes out the 8th gym, and then proceeds to wipe out the 8th gym leader, Giovanni, with Surf. Now able to get another encounter, I had a realization. I can't catch another Tentacool, so Route 19 is safe to travel on, meaning I can reach a Seafoam Island to catch Slowpoke and get a Slowbro to provide support against the poison and fighting types in the Elite Four. I end up catching a Slowpoke and I name her Kuina. We give her enough for her candies to become a Slowbro. After some training, we go back to Viridian City and battle our anger one more time, but this will not be the last time. Shanks two-shots Pidgeot and learns Hydro Pump. Kuro stops Execute, Shanks beats Growlithe and Rhyhorn, Kuro two-shots Alakazam, Enel two-shots Blastoise. We push through Victory Road, and after training everybody, trying to keep them within level cap, we go to complete all 5 battles of the Elite Four. Starting off with Lorelei, I use Enel to outspeed most of her team and two-shotting them only to find resistance when fighting Lapras. Jinx puts Kuro to sleep, but on a split-second gamble, we wake up and win on only 48 HP. Next up is Bruno. Queen one-shots Onix, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, and of course, the other Onix. Machamp gets us down to 76 HP before falling to a Psychic. On to Agatha. We leave with Kuro, who takes out Gengar and Golbat. Queen is able to take out Arbok and the second Gengar, and then we're able to finish this fight with Kuro, who gets to the last halter. Next, we move on to Lance, and lead with Enel to one-shot Gyarados as Shanks proceeds to Ice Beam the rest of his team. But with this battle complete, we as true champions must conquer something beyond the Elite Four, our true rival, anger. The road to self-actualization begins with Shanks getting Pidgeot down with 3 Ice Beams. I get Kuro out for Executor, but Josuke gets the final blow. Shanks takes out Alakazam, Rhydon, and Arcanine. And with just Blastoise in the way, Enel enters the battle and gets the last KO. And with that, we have beaten our first Badlock. We experienced 2 losses this run, Charmeleon and Tentacool. In the future, I'm definitely going to have to add in some attempt counts though. Thank you guys for watching this. We're going to have more challenge runs on the way in the future for a variety of games as well. If you try this run, let me know what you do, let me know how it goes, and let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope to see you guys all at the next one. Peace.